Hello and welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Chris Jacobs. ASUU, federal government conclude historic agreement after 16 years. Customs record 1.2 billion naira seizure in 1 month, warns smugglers. FCTA approves 11.5 billion naira project, crackdown on land violations. And on the foreign scene, U.S. to freeze visa processing for Nigeria and 74 other countries. Now on the news in detail. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, and the federal government of Nigeria have reached a historic agreement bringing to an end 16 years of protracted negotiations since the last negotiation. The newly signed agreement addresses key issues including conditions of service, university funding, autonomy, academic freedom, and broader reforms aimed at tackling systemic decay and reversing brain drain in Nigeria's university system. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, expressed appreciation to Malam Yayale Ahmed and members of the negotiation committee, reaffirming the federal government's commitment to the full implementations of the agreement under the Renewed Hope agenda, while also announcing new incentives for full-time professors and readers.
Unveiling a document. It symbolizes renewed trust, restored confidence, and a decisive turning point in the history of Nigeria tertiary education system. Today's agreement is a clear and deliberate with unprecedented demonstration.
Meanwhile, the president of ASUU, Professor Chris Piwuna, thanked the Minister of Education and other stakeholders, including the National University Commission, NUC, and ASUU trustees for their support throughout the long negotiation process.
Full ownership of this long-standing challenge that confronted the educational system and accorded its leadership attention to getting us to where we are today. For decades, unresolved remuneration concerns, welfare gaps, and recurring industrial disputes disrupted academic calendars, undermined staff morale, and threatened the future of our young citizens.
However, the union noted that, despite the progress made, challenges remain. ASUU raised concerns over what it described as government interference in university autonomy, particularly the dissolution of governing council and the politicization of vice-chancellor appointment. The Benue State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed Mr. Jerry Jimimbi Ashwe as member of Benue State Independent Electoral Commission, BCEC. The plenary, presided over by Speaker Right Honorable Berger Alfred Emerga, approved the governor's nomination. During the same plenary, the House passed the Labour College of Nursing and Science Bill into law after the third reading. The House also summoned officials involved in renovation of the Assembly complex, including the Director General of the State Public Procurement Commission, the Director of Civil Engineering, Jereva Construction Company, to appear on Monday, 19th January 2026 to explain delays despite 4 billion naira already paid. The Assembly condemned the recent herdsmen attack in Otobi, Otupo local government area, which left 11 people dead, and urged the police and other security agencies to carry out joint patrols. The House also requested SEMA to provide relief materials and temporary shelter for the affected residents. The Niger State government has given residents of hamlet around Kainji Lake a 2-month ultimatum to relocate for resettlement by Emirate Council ahead of a planned military operations to clear terrorists from the area. Governor Umar Bago announced this during a condolence visit to the Emir of Borgu, Muhammad Haliru Ntoro Kitoro IV, following a recent attack in Borgu local government area that killed over 42 people and led to several abductions. The governor said the relocation is necessary to prevent civilian casualties and the state working with federal government plans to flush out criminals during the Kainji Lake Forest as a hideout He also expressed concern over unprofiled residents and informants undermining security.
Well, we have come here to caution the Emirate Council and the traditional institution on their rules for giving people accommodation. People, they don't even know where they are coming from. They come here, they pay money, they give them land, and they build houses and settle down as communities. And in turn, they come with very, very dangerous weapons, ideologies, Boko Haram, extremism, and they have now conquered these people. So it's a wake-up call to the Emirate Council of Bogru Emirate and the entire Emirate Council around here not to allow these people come back here and settle. They must get the details of where they are coming from, why they have left where they have left, and why they are here before they can, and they have to work with the security agencies to understand the identity of those people before they can give them opportunity to live there. Secondly, for them to identify those people who are doing hate preaching. Hate preaching has become very rampant in this emirate, where people have come with ideology of Boko Haram and to Western education and have settled down here and have recruited a lot of people into this fold. And the Emirate Council is promising to work assiduously with the security agency and the state government and the federal government in combating these heinous crimes. We've realized that we have a lot of hamlets and scattered communities within the Kayenji Lake. Now it's a call on all these communities to leave the Kayenji Lake and come out and be resettled by the Emirate Council in a place where they become big towns. When this is done, we are going to be able to now flush and clear that forest. So we have given an ultimatum of 2 months from today that every community that is within that forest should come out and we'll resettle them. And if they don't do, there will be collateral damage in that aspect. So we are very serious about it. We are going to take over this forest. We are going to burn it down. We are going to smoke them. And we are going to make sure that that land becomes very, very habitable. Because it has become a command and control center for these miscreants. And the government of this country and the Niger State government is also not willing to take that anymore. So we are ready for the battle. It's a wartime. And we have called on security agencies like the police to also wake up to their call to make sure that they work together with the local security agencies and make sure that arrests are done timely and that people who are suspicious in these activities are brought to book.
The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to restoring peace and supporting security operations in the area.
Well, as you all know, the issue is a collective issue. And of course, the federal government is equally interested in ensuring that there's peace and security. And the way this forest has turned out to be definitely is something concerning. And for the governor to speak in the way he's speaking, definitely he will have conferred with the commander-in-chief. So it's a security matter. But one thing I can say for sure is that based on what our royal father has said, even much earlier, that the forest has suddenly become an albatross for us. And so whatever can be done to turn the forest into an opportunity for economic growth, rather than the current, a situation where these miscreants have turned it into a base for their criminality, I think is more than welcome. And I want to assure you that our various community members will be more than willing to cooperate. They are our family members. We are the ones feeling the pains. We know what is happening. And with the situation that is currently happening, it will be a welcome development if some concrete actions are taken to get them relocated while the forest is taken back and to be deployed for further community use.
In his response, the Emir of Borgu pledged cooperation with authorities to identify informants and support efforts to secure lives and property, noting that relocating residents will aid the operations and allow the forest to be reclaimed for community use.
The informants are within us, and we know some of them are within us. And we're assuring the governor and the people that we'll flush them out accordingly, inshallah. We will not leave any stone unturned, because the security of our people and their property is paramount important to us. And the government is doing its best, and ours is to complement the effort of the government. And I'm assuring the governor and the entire people of Niger State that we're going to support the governor and the government to ensure that these challenges are addressed.
Thank you so much.
Terrorists operating in the Borgu forest of Niger State have attacked Kabe village barely hours after the state government announced a military offensive to clear the area. Governor Umar Bago had earlier given residents of hamlet around Kainji Lake a 2-month ultimatum to relocate to avoid civilian casualties ahead of the operation. However, shortly after the governor left the emirate, the attackers reportedly stormed Kabe village around 10 p.m., killing an 85-year-old woman, Hajia Amina Adamu, and looting food and other items. Details on possible abductions remain unclear. Kabe village is located a few kilometers from Kaswandaji, where about 42 were killed in a similar attack weeks ago. A resident continued to lament the absence of security presence in the area. The Nigerian Customs Service Kwara Area Command has recorded seizures valued at over 1.2 billion naira within 1 month of a new leadership, reaffirming its determination to curb smuggling and economic sabotage in the state. The acting area controller, Deputy Controller Najim Ogundeyi, disclosed this during a press briefing at the command's headquarters in Ilorin. He attributed the achievement to the support of the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, strict adherence to the Customs Act 2023, intelligence-led operations, and zero tolerance for compromise. Ogundeyi revealed that officers intercepted 389 bales of second-hand clothing, 108 sacks of used bags along the Obomosho-Enyekorin Expressway, and 6,500 liters of PMS at petrol bases along the Bukuro border axis. The seizures were made within 1 month.
The seized items include, but are not limited to: 1. 389 bales of second-hand clothing, 108 sack of used bags, 6,500 liters of PMS is intercepted at various patrol bases along borderline in Bokoro axis. The total duty pay value for the above seizures put together at 1,219,299,369 naira.
Other intercepted items include 450 bags of foreign parboiled rice at the Okuta border axis, 170 used tires along the Lagos-Jeba Expressway, and 3 vehicles, 2 2025 model SUVs, and a 2016 Mercedes-Benz currently under investigation. The acting controller warned that Kwara State is no longer safe for smugglers, commended officers for their professionalism, and urged members of the public to support the service with credible intelligence, assuring continued enforcement with transparency and respect for human rights. The Police Officers' Wives Association POWA Anambra State Chapter has paid a thank you visit to the Anambra State Police Command in appreciation of the support received throughout 2025. Led by the acting state chairperson, Mrs. Eno Mantu, the delegation expressed gratitude to the Commissioner of Police, CP Ikeoye Orutugu, and the command's leadership for their cooperation and logistical support towards POWA's welfare program. During the visit, POWA presented its 2026 activity plan, which include welfare initiatives for police families, skills acquisition, health and educational support, and community outreach. The association also pledged continued collaboration with the command. In its response, CP Orutugu commended POWA's contributions to police family welfare and assured the association of the command's continued support. The Anambra State Police Command has taken into custody a masquerade involved in an unprovoked violent attack on innocent citizens in Augbu, Orumba North local government area, which disrupted public peace. The command described the act, captured in a viral video, as unlawful and unacceptable, stressing that such behavior will not be tolerated under any guise. The suspect is currently in police custody while investigations are ongoing to identify and prosecute all those involved in the incident. We took a pause here, and up next are news stories from the build sector. Do stay with us.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Welcome back. Glad to have you join us on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Now, to the build sector. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has ratified infrastructure project worth 11.5 billion naira and launched enforcement actions against land and property owners violating development regulations across Abuja. Major projects ratified include rehabilitation of roads in the residential villa, completion of the Kabusa KT Road, and emergency repairs of water pipelines from Lower Usama Dam. The FCTA also warned property owners against illegal land use and unpaid fees, saying defaulters may face title revocations, property sealing, and other lawful actions. Federal Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service Chairman Michael Ango urged residents to regularize payment, stressing that compliance is key to sustaining public services and infrastructure in the capital. And on the foreign scene, the United States government has announced plans to suspend visa processing for nationals of Nigeria and 74 other countries, citing concerns that applicants from the affected nations may rely on welfare and public benefits. According to the U.S. State Department, the freeze will take effect on January 21, 2026 and remain in place indefinitely while a comprehensive review of immigrant visa screening and vetting procedures is conducted. Will impact countries across Africa and Middle East, Asia, Europe, and Latin America, including Somalia, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Yemen, Afghanistan, Russia, Brazil, and Thailand. U.S. embassies and consular officers have been instructed to refuse visas under existing public charge provisions of immigration law until the reassessment is complete. That's how much we can take on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. ASU, federal government conclude historic agreement after 16 years. Customs record 1.2 billion naira seizure in 1 month, warns smugglers. An FCTA approved 11.5 billion naira project, cracked down on land violation. And on the foreign scene, U.S. to freeze visa processing for Nigeria and 74 other countries. For more news on the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV on all our social media platforms. Download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. I am Chris Jacobs. Bye for now.